Have you ever found yourself dreaming, maybe midwinter, about escaping the cold for, sunnier skies? Or maybe trading the city bustle for the quiet calm of a lakeside retreat? Well, it turns out our world is actually full of people who embrace this kind of serenal living. They find joy and connection in different spots throughout the year. Today, we're doing a deep dive into these fascinating seasonal rhythms, and we're going to look at it through the lens of one really delightful couple, Louise and Allan. We'll unpack their unique lifestyle, explore their two homes, a vibrant Florida winter place, and a serene Ontario summer sanctuary. Our mission, really, is to pull out what makes this lifestyle so appealing and maybe celebrate those small, sometimes surprising, heartwarming moments that define their life together and their family bonds. We've got some interesting sources today. An academic thesis on Newport Richey's history in Florida, official details about Vermilion Lake up in Ontario, and what's really charming, personal social media posts directly from Louise herself. So we get a real peek into their world. So as we explore their story, think about what you might learn about finding adventure, building community, cherishing family. No matter where the seasons take you, get ready for maybe some aha moments and definitely a dose of warmth. Okay, let's jump right in. Louise and Allan. These two seem to have really mastered this seasonal living thing. Their rhythm is pretty set. Spring and summer, say April to October, they're at home on Vermilion Lake near Sudbury, Ontario. Then when it starts getting colder, they head south down to Newport Richey, Florida from November to March. It's this annual pattern.
Yeah, and what's really compelling, I think, is how this pattern isn't just, running from the cold. It feels much more deliberate, like a strategy. It lets them optimize their surroundings for different activities, different moods maybe throughout the year. And it brings up a great question, right? What is the real draw? What's the allure of seeking out totally different communities and climates for chunks of the year? It's got to be more than just temperature. It's about lifestyle design, optimization, like you said.
That's such a good way to put it. Lifestyle optimization. Not just reacting, but actively choosing. Which brings us to their winter spot, Newport Richey, Florida, the Sunshine State. It apparently has quite a history, even nicknamed Gateway to Tropical Florida once. What can our sources tell us about its past? Does any of that old appeal still echo today for people like Louise and Allan?
Well, this thesis by Adam Carrozza paints a really interesting picture. Newport Richey kind of exploded in the 1920s, part of that big Florida land boom. It was marketed heavily, sold as this tropical paradise, a place of sunshine and opportunity, especially as cars made travel easier. They even cooked up this invented tradition, the legend of Chasco, back in 1922, purely to attract tourists and new residents. It's fascinating how places build their own myths.
Wow, an invented tradition. Just for marketing?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And the city had big dreams. Hollywood of the South, apparently. But Carrozza points out that, well, unchecked growth kind of changed things. A lot of that original tropical gateway vibe got lost over time. So the city's identity has definitely shifted. But, and this is key, for seasonal folks like Louise and Allan, they're not necessarily chasing some historical ghost. They're finding and, importantly, creating their own fun, their own community in the here and now.
Right. It's amazing how places evolve. Carrozza gives us that big picture, the historical sweep. But then you zoom in on Louise and Allan and you see them just living, building their own reality right there. And we actually have this perfect little example from Louise herself. It really shows how they find that special something today. Okay, get this. February 24th, 2025, she posts on Facebook about her first time ever going 10-pin bowling. Her first time, with friends in the park where they stay. And she bowled a 137 her second game. She even wrote almost or close to half of 300, with exclamation points. And then she added with a lull that Allan quit, but she was going back on her own next Thursday.
That's brilliant. And it's more than just a cute story, isn't it? It really speaks to that intentional living we talked about. Success in this lifestyle isn't just about picking the right zip code. It's about actively, jumping in, cultivating connections, trying new things, even if you're only there for a few months. The magic isn't in the history books. It's in the effort they put in to belong, to find joy right now.
Yeah.
It shows real adaptability, a willingness to just try stuff, make new memories.
Absolutely. It's the spirit you bring, not just the place itself. Okay, great point. So let's shift gears. From Florida sunshine to their northern summer spot, Vermilion Lake in Ontario. Sounds like a totally different world. What can you tell us about it?
Oh, it really is. Vermilion Lake, it's near Sudbury, Fairbank Township. And it's a substantial lake. We're talking over 1,100 hectares, miles of shoreline, 32 kilometers, maximum depth of 12 meters. So it's a significant natural feature.
Big lake.
Big lake. And its natural quality is, well, pretty great, according to the data. Good water quality, likely mesotrophic, which basically means healthy and balanced. Good for fish and plants.
Yeah.
Its level is controlled by a dam, the Stobie Dam, and the whole area around it is that rugged Precambrian shield terrain. Ancient rock forests, very Canadian shield
So it's
landscape.
beautiful, wild almost.
Definitely have that feel. And the community there is interesting, too. It's a mix. About 145 permanent residents and maybe 89 seasonal folks like Louise and Allan. So it creates this blend, people who are likely really connected through a shared love of the outdoors. And yet there's a documented list of fish species, which, as we're about to hear, seems pretty important to them.
Ah, yes, definitely sounds like fishing paradise. And Louise's posts really bring it to life. Okay, here's one from June 6th, 2025. She just enthusiastically posts Dynatrap's work and shows a picture of all the black flies, mosquitoes, and moths caught in just 2 nights. She calls it amazing.
Yeah.
That feels like such a real Northern Ontario moment, dealing with the bugs.
Oh, absolutely. The practical side of lakeside living.
Right. And then, just a few days before that, June 1st, an eventful morning catching pickerel, Allan lands an 18-incher. Good fish. But Louise proudly notes hers was 27 inches. And she adds, hilariously, of course we get to enjoy pickerel from Allan's catch, but threw mine back.
You can just picture it, can't you? The friendly competition. And these little snapshots, they paint such a vivid picture. Life connected to nature, yes, but also crucially connected to each other. It's not just the scenery, it's the practical stuff like bug traps and the fun stuff like the fishing rivalry. It really makes you think, how do these shared activities, even the slightly competitive ones, how do they build that bond? Create those unique shared memories. It's the everyday stuff, the little jokes and triumphs that weave that strong connection.
It really is those specific, relatable moments, isn't it? That's what makes a relationship feel real. Which brings us perfectly to, well, the heart of it all, I think. These moments that capture Louise and Allan's connection to each other and to their families. The anecdotes from Louise's posts really bring their whole story into focus here.
Exactly. This is where you see what makes this seasonal life so rich for them. It's clearly not just about changing scenery. It's about the shared experiences, the connections they nurture with each other, with family. That seems to be the core fulfillment.
Okay, let's look at some specifics. Travels with family seem huge. April 16th to 2025, they're on vacation. Louise describes a fun-filled day in Oatman, Arizona, the highlight. Donkeys. Going to see them, feed them, and she lists who's there. Allan, Evelyn Kayla Bangs, Richard, Kim, John Flores. That's building memories across generations.
Definitely. Making that effort to share adventures.
And then June 28th, 2025, a picture of Allan experiencing lobster fishing in PEI, on Les Îles de la Madeleine specifically, with friends Henri Cheveri and Elizabeth McKay. Louise calls them great hosts, feels very blessed. It's about connection, hospitality, shared new experiences.
These aren't just holidays. They're threads weaving their extended family and friendships into their seasonal life.
And then there are the little quirks, the
Yeah.
stuff that defines a long relationship. Apparently, Allan has a very precise walking limit. Louise notes he's okay to walk up to 7.5 kilometers, but 7.8 kilometers is too much.
Huh. That's wonderfully specific.
Isn't it? It's that loving observation. And then playing the card game, play 9. He consistently forgets the objective is to get the lowest score, not be the first one to finish.
You can just hear the gentle teasing in that,
Yeah.
that shared history and understanding.
Totally. And we even learned Louise ordered a new personalized license plate. Miss Lou, it's these tiny personal details that show so much warmth and personality.
Absolutely. And pulling it all together, these snapshots, the big family trips, the fishing rivalry, the bowling night, these endearing quirks that give such a sharp focus to their life. It underlines that their life isn't defined just by where they are, but by the texture of their relationship, the richness of their connections. And it poses that question again. How do all these moments, big and small, add up? The adventures, the routines, the inside jokes, the understanding of habits. How does that contribute to a life feeling genuinely well-lived? To memories that last? It seems clear it's these personal connections filled with laughter and shared time that give their lifestyle its real depth and meaning, way more than just the location.
That's a beautiful way to put it. So wrapping up, what's the takeaway from our deep dive into Louise and Allan's life? From Newport Richey's history to Vermilion Lake's nature, it really shows the charm of creating your own rhythm, doesn't it?
I think so. Connecting it to the bigger picture, their story really highlights something profound. People find deep fulfillment, yes, by choosing environments that suit them, but maybe more importantly, by centering those choices around people, around family, shared hobbies, actively making memories together. It reminds us that home might be less about a fixed address and more about where your loved ones are, where you choose to invest your heart and your time.
Well said. Whether it's the unexpected fun of bowling in Florida, the friendly fishing competition in Ontario, or seeing donkeys with family in Arizona, Louise and Allan definitely remind us that adventure, connection, and importantly, a good laugh, that's what makes anywhere feel like home. And that leaves us with a final thought for you, our listeners. What invented traditions, or maybe just personal rituals, do you create in your own life? Things that bring joy and meaning and connect you with the people you love, no matter where you happen to be.